Hello Galactic family. We, the ARCTURIANS, wish to send you this Shipside transmission of preparing for first contact. But, first, we wish to thank you for being such loyal representatives for grounding the higher light into your core, as well as in the core of Gaia. We begin this message by reminding you that as you move more and more into the frequency of the fifth dimension, the rule of what you think about, you bring about, becomes increasingly powerful. Your third-dimensional life has taught you to listen to others and gather your guidance from outside and or above yourself. It is the now for you to realize that you are the creator of your reality. We are fully aware of the massive challenge that it is to be the master of your thoughts and emotions. The Dark Ones know that they have lost, so they are pulling out all the stoppers to create as much fear as possible. Just as when Hitler knew he had lost the war, he wanted to destroy all that he could. In the same manner, the Dark Ones want to create as much fear as they can in a desperate attempt to maintain their control. Fear has always been the major tool of darkness because it lowers the consciousness of the ones who experience it. Then, because of their lower state of consciousness, they are more easily pulled deeper and deeper into the 3D matrix. The 3D matrix is ruled by time, polarities, and power over others. However, these third-dimensional expressions of reality do not adhere to a fifth-dimensional state of consciousness. Yes, this darkness may well invade your thoughts and emotions whenever your thoughts and emotions are directed towards fear, but once you move the lever from fear to love, time, polarities and power over fall from your primary attention and back into your third-dimensional consciousness from which they arose. Fear, polarities and power over others are like viruses that you can catch when you go out into the cold night without the warmth of your own inner light. Your own inner, interdimensional self serves as the protection from the outer darkness that is trying to sweep through your third and lower fourth-dimensional realities. We say, trying to sweep through because third-dimensional darkness is bound to the lower frequencies of the third and fourth dimensions. Just as you may not see a fish in the sky or a bird in the water, you will not see one who is ruled by darkness living in the light. However, some fish do fly and some birds do swim. Therefore, please remember that it is never too late for one who has become trapped in the darkness to find their way into the light. Yes, more and more of the younger members of the Illuminati, or whatever term is used for the servants of the dark, are remembering how to master their emotions enough to feel the difference between that which resonates to power over as opposed to that which resonates to power within. Many of the members of the Lost Ones were once members of the light, but many of them became lost in the darkness. Conversely, some of them became lost in that darkness in their homeworld long before they even experienced Earth. These are the ones who came to Earth long before the fall of Atlantis with the intention of gaining power over the earliest humans by genetically engineering them to serve as their minions. In fact, they came to Earth to enter Gaia's third-dimensional, planetary matrix because it is based on separation of polarities, such as the polarities of good versus bad. Fortunately, this planetary matrix also carries the operating system for free will and separation of polarities so that the light could find some refuge from the dark. However, because of these polarities, your earthly thinking can easily fall into the good ones did this, and the bad ones did that, as Gaia's 3D matrix separates the good ones and bad ones. Often the good ones' service to others may think they are bad, whereas the bad ones' service to self may think that they are good. This switching and merging of third-dimensional polarities is creating rifts in the 3D matrix through which the increasing fifth-dimensional light can more easily enter into Gaia's planet. Fifth-dimensional light resonates beyond Earth's operating system of time, which creates space in between separate places, concepts, choices and perceptions. Therefore, as the fifth-dimensional light increasingly merges with Gaia's 3D matrix, it is transmuting her fourth-dimensional matrix into higher and higher frequencies. In fact, there are areas of Gaia that are beginning to transmute into the resonance of the fifth dimension. It is also helpful that Gaia's core has been fifth-dimensional since the ascended Lemurians, and later the ascended Atlanteans, decided to create their new world in the core of Gaia. Most planets maintain their highest resonance of life within their planetary core. Gaia was once surrounded by a protective mantle, so her planetary inhabitants could safely live on the outer surface of Earth. Unfortunately, that mantle was destroyed early in Earth's history. Since then, life has been difficult for your dear planet. Earth eventually became totally third-dimensional, and times were hard not only on Gaia's land, but in her water, her atmosphere, and even the light of the sun was tainted by her polluted atmosphere. In fact, pollution increasingly collected on all her elementals of earth, air, fire and water. These elementals are the building blocks of all life on Earth, including human life. Therefore, as the resonance of the elementals that had once resonated to the fifth dimension dropped into the lower resonance of the third and fourth dimension, Gaia slipped deeper and deeper into the myriad illusions of the third dimension. As the illusions of separation, hard work, war and power over others filled Gaia's third-dimensional civilizations, the fourth dimension became increasingly tainted by black magic and the dark thoughts and emotions of the laggards that Gaia had lovingly allowed another chance to live on her planet. These dark ones returned Gaia's kindness by joining what you now call the Illuminati. The Illuminati is like a computer virus that invades the operating systems of everyone who allows their thoughts, emotions, and energy fields to fall into the lower fourth dimension. Then, because the virus infected them, they lost control of their free will, which was one of the major benefits of taking an incarnation on Earth. This mental virus of the Illuminati moved into the brain of the affected one and turned off all synapses that are formatted for the purpose of service to others. It was in that manner that the Dark Ones altered the human operating system of many who had once lived by service to others and altered their operating system into the format for service to self. Because of these alterations, so few could live a life of service to others that the operating system of service to others could not gain enough momentum to turn the key to ascension. The reason why service to others could eventually gain the power to override, and eventually heal, the tainted operating systems of the human brain is because service to others can only occur when one has allowed their personal energy field to align with the energy fields of unconditional love. Unconditional love is an energy field that resonates to the fifth dimension and beyond. Because of the high resonance of unconditional love, those who live within service to self are unable to perceive, or even imagine, that such a frequency exists. They may have read about unconditional love in a book, or someone might have told them about it, but because of their great arrogance, they could not even begin to imagine that anything could be beyond their power over others. These lost ones must hold tightly to the lies they have been taught and to the illusions they have created to hide their dark deeds. One might think they must hide in this manner because they are so evil. The truth is, they must hide from the truth because they even the darkest of the dark, have a spark of unconditional love within the core of their threefold flame within their high heart. How can they have a high heart? You may ask. The answer is because they have chosen to wear a human form, and all human forms have chakras and high hearts. It is built into the operating system of the physical form. Therefore, if the Dark Ones are to wear a physical form, they must suffer the constant pull of conscience that hides within the Atma of their high heart, which holds their personal portal of unconditional love. Unconditional love serves as a portal of light that connects humanity to the higher dimensions. It is this connection that allows the zygote to become a fetus, the fetus to become a human, and the human to be born from the mother and into the third-dimensional world. You see, the Illuminati greatly fear the lower astral plane of the fourth dimension, as on some unconscious, or conscious, level they remember existing in the lower astral plane, also known as hell, after the death of their other incarnations. This memory is kept alive in their conscious mind via the unconditional love within their high heart. How can the memory of the lower astral plane be stored in the high heart? You may ask. The answer is that ALL memories of your third-fourth lives are stored within your high heart, because it is the alpha and omega of all your incarnations on earth. Also, if you are to expand your consciousness into the now of the fifth dimension, you must consciously perceive, heal and release all third-fourth dimensional wounds from ALL of your incarnations. That is impossible. We hear you say. Yes, it is impossible if you try to attempt this self-healing while in third-fourth dimensional state of consciousness. Wait a minute, we hear you argue. How can we heal ourselves within the state of the fifth dimensional consciousness when we can only remember how to perceive the third-fourth dimension? The answer to this question, dear ones, is that if you expand your consciousness to the highest frequency portions of your third-fourth dimensional thoughts and emotions and say I am here in service to Gaia, you will begin to consciously recognize, remember and accept the promise and responsibility that you accepted before you took this incarnation. The acceptance of your pre-birth promise, as well as the acceptance of the responsibility that this promise holds, you will feel so strong within yourself that you will be able to let go of lower dimensional encumbrances and accept the inflow of unconditional love and higher dimensional light. Do not be concerned if you do not consciously experience the unconditional love and higher dimensional light. Many of you have been told by others, and/or have told yourself, that you do not deserve the higher light and unconditional love. Hence, this love and light must enter into your innocent child and slowly progress through your awareness until it gently caresses the conscious awareness of your adult. Then one day, or one moment, you will consciously experience the light and love that you promised yourself before you took this incarnation. Do not break this promise from yourself to yourself. Instead, we ask you to remember that the gift of unconditional love and higher light is your birthright. Because you asked for this gift before you took this incarnation, you have unconsciously told yourself that you deserve this gift as your birthright. Please be kind and patient with yourself. Life on third-dimensional Earth during your era of time-space has been very difficult and unbelievably cruel. Many of our beloved volunteers to Earth have been broken down by the cruelty of your era and have lost connection with their self. The many challenges of just surviving within the darkest night that is just before dawn has been difficult for all of our brave ones who have volunteered to take an Earth vessel. Yes, dear volunteers to assist dear Gaia and her inhabitants, you are now within the darkest night just before dawn. Most important is that you remember that you are, also, the heralds of that dawn. As you release the lies that have hidden you from your real self, your innate inner light body will begin to awaken and slowly rise up your Kundalini. In other words, the mystical marriage of Lady Shakti and Lord Shiva will commence. Then, the force of your rising Kundalini will guide Lady Shiva to her mystical marriage with Lord Shiva in your temple of inner light. As this marriage reunites and merges the energy fields of all your chakra systems, your innate power within from your root chakra to your crown chakra will begin its process of awakening into your daily life. As you feel the energy fields of your body begin to shift and sway, you will more easily fall into the flow of your fifth dimensional life force, as it seeks its reunion with the fifth dimensional light that is increasingly entering the atmosphere of Gaia. The more deeply you are grounded within the fifth dimensional core of Gaia, the more you will consciously perceive the higher light, and the more awake and aware you will be of your ongoing process of returning to yourself. As you progress within your return to self, you will have more peak experiences, your dreams will become more vivid, and your imagination will guide you deeper and deeper into the fifth dimensional energy fields. If you take a moment of your 3D time-space to recognize that you have reached the next octave of self-recognition, your consciousness will begin its expansion from the higher fourth and into the fifth dimension. If you wish to plug in this moment to better remember it, be sure to share your gift of higher light with Gaia and with ALL life on the body of her Earth. Since the operating system for the third-fourth dimension is based on space-time, you will need to repeat your marriage until you return to your now of the fifth dimension. Once you have completed your shift from Gaia's third-fourth dimensional operating system, and have fully aligned your consciousness to her fifth dimensional operating system, you will be free of separation, opposites and the polarities of light and dark. You will exist within the here of the now in which there is no time and no space. Your life will not gradually get better, as you gradually become fifth dimensional, because you are infinitely within the now of the fifth dimensional experience, while you are simultaneously the you on third dimensional Earth who is creating remembering your return to self. From your fifth dimensional perspective, you did not return, as you never left. You did not leave your fifth dimensional self. Instead, you allowed your fifth dimensional consciousness to expand into a third dimensional Earth vessel. Nevertheless, your Earth vessel was bound by time-space and could not even imagine that the higher dimensional being to whom it called for guidance, understanding and love was a higher frequency of yourself. Please remember that you cannot leave the fifth dimension to come down into the third dimension, because there is no time in the fifth dimension in which you could go through the process of leaving or returning to the fifth dimension. You are a fifth dimensional being who has chosen to wear the illusion of being a third dimensional being, who came to Gaia to share your innate frequency of fifth dimensional light with ALL life, including the lost ones within the Illuminati. Hence, we ask that you send the higher light and unconditional love to the Illuminati. Some will ignore it, but more and more of them are accepting your free gift of light and love. Why are they doing so? Because they are just as tired of the darkness, just as you are. It is the now. Blessings from the Arcturians.